Imagine you are clinging to the frozen dead metal of a crippled spacecraft, floating in the absolute silence of deep space. Your tether has snapped, the thrusters are dark, and your radio is broadcasting nothing but the cold, uncaring static of the void. You are drifting helplessly, pulled by an invisible, ancient force. You look down, and your heart stops. Stretching across the entire horizon, so impossibly massive that it breaks your mind's ability to comprehend scale, is a glowing, golden halo. Saturn. You are falling directly toward the most famous planetary rings in the solar system. And as the gravity takes hold, accelerating you toward that shimmering disk, you realize with absolute, sickening certainty, you are about to be fed into a cosmic meat grinder. From the safety of Earth, looking through the lenses of telescopes, this planetary system looks like the crown jewel of the cosmos. Saturn's rings are a breathtaking, perfect circle of pale gold, silver, and white, suspended around a serene, butterscotch sphere. They look like a solid, smooth track of light, a majestic highway in the heavens that has inspired poets, astronomers, and dreamers for centuries. It feels like a beautiful sanctuary, the most elegant and peaceful architecture the universe has ever created. But something is wrong. As you plummet closer, the majestic illusion of that solid golden track violently shatters. The serene, glowing halo is a lie. You are not falling toward a smooth surface, you are plunging into a hyper-violent, chaotic storm of orbital shrapnel. The rings are not a single solid object. They are made of billions upon billions of jagged, razor-sharp chunks of dirty ice and rock. Some are the size of a grain of sand. Some are the size of a house. Some are the size of towering, jagged skyscrapers. And they are all violently orbiting the gas giant at mind-bending speeds. But here's the problem. It is not just the rocks that will kill you, it is the terrifying velocity of your descent. You are falling toward the ring plane at over 45,000 miles per hour. In the vacuum of space, there is no air resistance to slow you down. There is no friction to cushion your fall. When NASA sent the Cassini spacecraft on its final suicidal dive through the rings in 2017, they had to use the ship's massive high-gain antenna as a physical shield, terrified that a single particle of ice, no larger than a speck of dust, would hit the ship like a hollow-point bullet and instantly blow it to pieces. You do not have a shield. You have a thin, fragile layer of polymer and fabric. As you cross the threshold into the outermost edge of the rings, the F ring, the terrifying scale of the danger becomes agonizingly clear. You are entering a zone of pure kinetic violence. A piece of ice the size of a marble, moving at relative orbital speeds, possesses the kinetic energy of a detonating hand grenade. If it strikes your visor, it will not crack the glass. It will vaporize your helmet, decapitating you in a fraction of a millisecond. You are completely surrounded by a blinding, swirling blizzard of these microscopic bombs. And you are flying completely blind. But it gets worse. The physical impact of the ice is only the beginning of your nightmare. As you tumble deeper into the main rings, plunging into the dense B ring, the environment itself becomes openly hostile to your biology. The temperature drops to a staggering 330 degrees below zero. This is a cold so profound, so absolute, that it stops the vibration of atoms. The microscopic bits of water ice surrounding you are frozen so hard they have the tensile strength of solid steel. But because these billions of steel-hard ice chunks are constantly colliding, grinding, and smashing into one another, they generate massive amounts of static electricity. You are falling through a highly charged, electrified minefield. Huge, ghostly shadows, known as __quote_0__, stretch for thousands of miles across the rings. These are massive clouds of levitating, electrically charged dust. As you pass through them, the static charge overloads your suit. Your life support systems violently short-circuit. The microscopic heaters keeping your blood from turning to ice instantly die. You are left alone in the dark, trapped in an electrically charged freezer while your body temperature plummets. And this is where things change, because you suddenly realize that the rings are not just a flat plane of debris. They are alive, and they are hunting you. Hidden inside this chaotic blizzard of ice are localized monsters, moons. But not the large spherical moons you are familiar with. These are jagged, asymmetrical boulders the size of mountains, known as _1. They do not just orbit peacefully, they tear through the rings, acting like cosmic snowplows. Their massive gravitational pull drags the ice particles with them, creating towering, vertical walls of debris that can reach miles into the black sky. You are caught in the gravitational wake of one of these moons. It is called a _2. Suddenly, the relatively flat plane of the rings erupts upward. A tidal wave of jagged, super-chilled ice, millions of tons of it, rises up like a tsunami of shattered glass. You cannot swim through it, you cannot dodge it. You are caught in a crushing, grinding avalanche of frozen shrapnel. Your spacesuit groans, the joints buckling under the sheer, unimaginable weight of the ice pressing in from all sides. You are being buried alive in a moving, screaming graveyard of shattered moons. But that's not even the worst part. The true horror of Saturn's rings is what lies waiting beneath them. If by some impossible, cruel miracle you survive the shrapnel, the extreme cold, the electrical storms, and the crushing weight of the ice waves, you will eventually fall through the bottom of the ring plane. But there is no rescue waiting for you on the other side. You are now caught in the terrifying phenomenon known as _3. Saturn's massive magnetic field is actively ripping the rings apart, dragging tons of electrified ice down into the planet's atmosphere every single second. You are swept up in this cosmic downpour. You are being dragged directly into the bruised, swirling, violent atmosphere of Saturn itself. The rings were just the executioner's waiting room. Now you are plunging into a bottomless, lightless abyss of suffocating hydrogen and helium. The gravity tightens like a vice around your chest. The pressure begins to build, millions of times heavier than the atmosphere of Earth, preparing to squeeze your fragile, battered body into a microscopic speck of carbon. You survived the most beautiful rings in the universe, only to be fed to the monster they surround. The universe was never meant for us. We look up at the night sky and we tell ourselves grand, poetic stories of exploration. We look at Saturn's golden halo and we see a crown, a masterpiece, a beautiful destination for humanity's future. We desperately want to believe that the cosmos is a gallery of art, waiting for us to wander its halls. But the infinite does not care about our sense of wonder. Saturn's rings are a mesmerizing, swirling triumph of orbital mechanics, but they are also a perfect, inescapable meat grinder. It is a monument to the absolute, unyielding hostility of deep space, a place where beauty is just a mask for blunt force trauma, and where the elements act with a brutal, uncaring efficiency. It does not hate us. It does not want to destroy us. It simply exists on a scale so violent, so ancient, and so terrifying that our survival is biologically and mathematically impossible. We are fragile, delicate creatures, clinging desperately to a tiny, warm rock, perfectly calibrated to keep our blood flowing and our lungs breathing. Beyond the thin blue veil of our atmosphere lies a dark, violent, and indifferent universe filled with disguised horrors. And the most terrifying of all is a world that wears a golden halo, spinning silently in the freezing dark, waiting for nothing and shredding